Hello, friends. A little bit late. What are we? Nearly 6:15. Welcome to episode 16 of Ask Karl G. So I've offended someone. That's what I've done. I've offended somebody, and possibly quite rightly, with my Vanity video. If you haven't seen it, it's a takeoff of Right Said Fred's "I'm Too Sexy," and the principle behind it is if you're not getting on your horse because of other people's opinions, that is a form of vanity. And I've received a message from a lovely lady who's bought plenty of my hypnosis and follows me, and it was quite an upset message on my inbox, saying the implication was that I'd been a bit harsh, a bit rude to people who perhaps have spent their entire lives being bullied or had genuine social anxiety. They don't ask for this kind of feelings to be inside them, and generally the tone was upset, a bit of chastisement, and a little bit of defence. And I promise I understand this. I absolutely understand this. So this is the way that our primitive minds go. So I've released a video suggesting that your crippling self-consciousness, I do understand what this feels like, is somehow your fault or such like, and it's made somebody suitably upset. Now, our primitive minds, when we're under attack, will respond with defense mechanisms, anger, anxiety, depression. And so in this case, there was a bit of anger, and the letter wasn't angry. It was a lovely letter, but there was a bit of anger from a primitive response. You felt that you were under attack. Karl says that I'm being vain when really I'm suffering from awful shyness. That's not fair. And you respond with anger, going, well, perhaps you ought to consider before you start making these videos, try la la. Now, I'm a caring person. There's three different personalities, or combination of three different personalities that make up how we react to certain situations. Of some people are carers, some people are warriors, some people are entertainers, and I've got the percentage of 40-40-20, 40% entertainer, 40% carer, 20% warrior. So I do understand what it is to be caring, and to care what people think. Of course, even when I make the videos, I'm writing, don't take notice of other people's opinions, but even as I'm writing it, I'm quite caring about what people think. And as you know, as I preach, I mustn't be. So how do we respond? How do I respond when I put a video out giving some advice that I know will rile some people, and I am going to get a negative response? Hey, it's the internet. I'm possibly going to get a negative response on this video itself. I am a carer, so these opinions are going to come back. And when people are being particularly nasty or whatever, I'll have to employ mental strategies to not get upset. So anyway, let's say that this message came back saying that I hadn't considered people who were cripplingly shy or self-conscious to the point of not being able to function. It's everything they can do to get on their horse, and here am I coming along saying that they're just being vain. That sounds harsh when you put it like that. Now, I could get that message, and being a carer, I could get all uppity myself. I'm like, well, she hasn't listened to what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to offer some advice here, and I spend all this time giving people free advice, and she turns around and takes offense. And I have the possibility, being a caring soul, to respond in that kind of anger, upset, anger, depression, what have you, in return. Well, that'd get us nowhere. And some people, family members particularly, you've got family member reacting to family member in this emotional tennis that we could easily begin. And some people live their entire lives like that, playing this emotional tennis of he said, she said, and taking it all as a personal attack. So when I say to people, you must not take notice of other people's opinions, I mean emotionally. You can take notice of other people's opinions and hear what they say, but it's the emotionally that comes to these reactions, isn't it? We don't care if you've got something to consider. Oh, really? You think my horse would go better in a Waterford bit? Oh, it's just something to consider. You saying I've got the wrong bit, and I could respond uppity. So you could play emotional tennis. So when I say don't take notice of other people's opinions, I often have people say, you're absolutely right. I must try harder not to let people get to me. Well, that's almost a guarantee to fail. That's like, I must try harder not to smoke. I must try harder. No, it has to stop. This emotional tennis going on between me and my viewer has to stop. Not, I will try harder to not get emotionally involved with other people's opinions, but my viewer has had an opinion that I'm being overly harsh to socially awkward, self-conscious people, to shy people, bullied people, and I'll try not to take that on board. Is almost a guarantee that I'm not trying at all. I'll take it on board. Fact is, if I want to break this chain of codependent emotional tennis, I must not and will not take that emotion on board. Take emotionally, I will not, I must not, and I must not, and I will not take notice of that other person's opinion. If offence is caused, then it's simply a mistake. Notice the difference. This is the powerful bit that I'm so fascinated by this. Notice the difference in the statement. I must try and not let people get to me. I must try and not let people get to me. And I must not and I will not let people get to me. There's a world of difference and intent. One is acknowledging that I'm emotional and probably will carry on just as normal. And the other is I must break this chain, not only for myself, but also for the person I'm speaking with, so that this emotional tennis is broken. The power of the words that you choose. And if I say, for the sake of us both, I must not and will not get emotionally involved with that person's opinion, doesn't mean I'm not listening to you. It doesn't mean that I'm not taking notice of what you said and considering it. It means that I'm not going to continue this cycle of allowing our primitive minds to react. By me breaking the cycle, that means you've also broken the cycle. And then we can have a conversation. Until this point, I couldn't possibly start the conversation with, well, the message that I'm trying to get across in this video is actually a serious one and possibly worth consideration. There will be no consideration whilst people are feeling angry or upset. Once one of you must not and will not get upset, from then on we know we're just talking about the facts, the message that I was trying to get across. So the message I was trying to get across with the Vanity video is most people who take notice of other people's opinion are these caring personalities. If they say something, you get upset. Most people who have these caring personalities have friends with caring personalities, because you find somebody who is like you. So your friends have caring personalities and you think that's sweet and endearing and everything else because you're like that. And so there is a part of you that feels that sweet and endearing, to be self-conscious, to care too much. It's all very it's nice. It's nice qualities to be socially minded and to care about what people think and to want to look after people. And so you take it too much on board because you're a caring soul. There's a lot that's absolutely wonderful about that kind of personality. I would say that because I am one. But there you go. My suggestion in the vanity video: most caring people, if they were actually being vain, if you caught yourself being vain and show, well, I show off because of my entertainment part of my personality, but if you caught yourself actually being vain in an unpleasant way, or someone pointed it out, a caring person would be mortified and would stop it immediately. They'd be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that." And because vanity is not an endearing quality. Vanity is a horrible quality. Caring about what other people think is an endearing quality. But actually, they're the same quality. It's just the same situation personified in opposite ways. If you care about what people think, I'm fantastic, and they're going to know I'm fantastic. I'm so cool. I'm so, and you're being very vain. I'm so beautiful. Everyone's going to know I'm beautiful. If you're going to care about what people think, that's vanity. But at the same time, being terribly shy, caring about what people think, that's endearing and quite nice. What it is two different ways of thinking about the same thing, which brings me back to the power of words. Like fear and excitement. Oh, I'm feeling very frightened about going out on this horse or doing that jump or whatever. I'm feeling really excited about going out on this horse and doing this jump. It's two different ways of describing the same thing with two completely opposing emotional packages to go with it. So my point is, if you are self-conscious, if you are shy, if you do take too much notice of what everybody else thinks, perhaps changing your wording, and it only has to be a tiny change. I've already given two examples of a tiny here's a tiny change. I'm being vain. And if you're a caring person, you will find that easy to stop. Easy to stop, because it's totally against your way of thinking. And my suggestion is that we try it in the same way that my suggestion previously has been, why don't we think of the word relaxing instead of the word galloping? When you drive a car going on the motorway, you're galloping in the car, but it's relaxing. Suppose you had the same thought on the horse. When we do the rearing section, I spend most of my time referring it to wheelies, because wheelies have playtime. Let's pull a wheelie on this horse. Rather than rear. You can, small amount of words. Earlier, I said that the difference between I'll try not to let people get to me and I must not and will not let people get to me. Such small. So these small little changes in our wording, if you're self-conscious, if you do find that you take too much notice of other people's opinions to your detriment, and if you're willing to, I'd like you to take that video to heart and just try saying to yourself, this is vanity. And you will automatically want to stop it. So interesting. So interesting. I hope I put it across in the way that I intended to put it across. I find this absolutely fascinating. And all I can say is, if you are self-conscious, give it a try and see if it works. I would love to know the results. Thanks very much. See you all later.